Can you talk about your year this season? You were supposed to play with Barrie, of course, but then you go over to Sweden, and it looks like you did quite well there. Can you just talk about just that experience?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely an unfortunate thing that the OHL didn't play this year, and kind of disappointing for all of us players, especially entering our draft year. And I figured I needed to make the most of the opportunity and still take full advantage of a hockey season happening elsewhere. So I headed over to Sweden with not too sure like expectations. I didn't really know what to expect or anything like that. I got to go over there with two of my best buddies, and the team, Surhammer, and the city and town itself was just amazing. They took us in, made us feel at home. And then from a hockey standpoint, all the boys just welcomed us in right away. And I think that's why I did so well there. And I got to give a lot of credit to them this year for putting me on the map and getting me here today.
Can you describe your game and also who you model your?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I mean, my game, I'm a quick forward. I'm not the biggest guy, height-wise anyway, but I like to battle, get in corners, get pucks out, use my speed to my advantage, a quick release shot while being a heads-up player at the same time. And a lot of times I would compare myself to Travis Konechny for a while, but playing in Barrie and stuff too, I get a lot of comparisons to Kevin Labanc actually. So it's kind of funny, and I know I talked to that with the Sharks scouting staff when I did my interview. So those type of players.
And I know that you are half of a pretty popular podcast. Now you are with the Sharks. So which Sharks player would you most like on your podcast?
Whew. That's a real good one now. I mean, we'll have to see at camp if I can persuade any of the boys to come on, but Brent Burns would be pretty cool. He seems like a beauty off the ice and obviously an unreal player on the ice.
Thank you so much, Ethan. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jordan.
Hey, Ethan. If you just want to go back to a couple years ago, you spent 2 years there in the OHL, Saginaw, Barrie. How much did your coaches mean to your development leading to this point now, getting selected by San Jose?
Yeah, no, I have to give a lot of credit to all my coaches. When I first got drafted to Saginaw, I walked into a great organization with Dave Drinkle drafting me there and believing in me, and then Chris Lasry really developing me as a player there. I had to play more of a lower down the lineup role there and earn my minutes. So that was pretty special for me to learn the defensive side of the game and be more responsible and stuff like that. So I learned the nuances of the game well there. And then once I made my trade to Barrie, then I had Warren Reichel for a brief period of time. It was amazing for me, and I really loved him. And then I had Todd Miller, who I owe everything to, because without him trusting me and putting me on the ice in all situations last year and developing me as a player, we do so much work on video after practice and after game and stuff. And he was always in my corner. So I owe him a lot of credit too. So without them, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be the player I am today. And so that's where we're at.
How did you celebrate the day? Who were you watching with? What was your reaction when you saw the call come in and saw your name go up on the screen of San Jose?
It's actually very interesting. So I'll just give a quick backstory on this one. So my brother is a really good junior golfer. So this week we're in Pinehurst, North Carolina, and he was playing in the U.S. Junior Amateur Tournament, and it just wrapped up a few days ago. So we were actually, after last year, after the disappointment of the draft, I figured I don't really want to watch the draft or anything this year. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. If it happens, if I get a phone call, great. If it doesn't, just put my head down and go back to work. So we were actually in the car driving, and we stopped in West Virginia to cut up our trip because I live in Ontario. So I was sitting in the back seat of the car, and I got a text from one of my buddies who I haven't spoken to in a little bit, and then another one before my feed had popped up. And then sure enough, I got a call from my agent saying San Jose, and we were really excited about that one. And I had great talks with them. So just really special to have my family still here, my brother, my mom, and my dad, but super excited to get back home to Curtis, Ontario tomorrow to celebrate with family and friends.
Awesome. Congrats, Ethan.
Thank you.
Curtis.
Hey, Ethan, this is Curtis Pashalko from the Mercury News in San Jose. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, so you said you went over to Sweden with a couple of friends. Who'd you go over there with?
I went with Hurricanes prospect Blake Murray and Lightning prospect Jack Thompson, and who I'm really close with at home. Well,
What was sort of the? I mean, it's you have to adapt to a new country, a new culture. What was sort of maybe the strangest thing you encountered in your time over there?
well, going there during a pandemic, and especially in Ontario at that point, we were fully locked down. So when we got there, we were a bit hesitant. We were like, oh my God, like what are the restrictions going to be and stuff like that. And we got there and it's pretty wide open. Like we'd go into grocery stores, like nobody was wearing a mask. Nobody even talked about COVID there. So that was definitely a little bit different for us. And then the language barrier wasn't as bad as I thought, though. A lot of the Swedes spoke amazing English and made us feel right at home. So like I said before, they did really good in kind of getting us into our place and settled in, and would help us with groceries, get us around with drives and stuff, as we didn't have a car there. So I got to give a lot of credit to the whole team and the whole staff there for making it pretty seamless transition for us. But other than that, a little bit different foods too, though, like meatball is pretty common and stuff like that. So we had a little bit of a different eating habits, but we made do, and it was a lot of fun.
I have to admit, I'm not terribly familiar. What the league that you played in there, is it comparable to the OHL, or how does it kind of stack up maybe to junior hockey or Canada?
Yeah, I've been asked this quite a lot, actually. So it's a lot different. As you guys know, we're on the big ice, right? So there's a lot more time and space, but you're playing against grown men. So I was playing against 37, 35-year-old men every night, which was a different ball game for me and the two other guys. So the guys were a lot stronger, a lot harder on pucks, and a little bit more wiser. They might not have been as fast per se. Or actually, you know what? The speed was probably pretty comparable, but you know what? I'd say there's more skill in the OHL, but that league over there, the guys they've seen a lot more things. They've played in a lot more games, more experience kind of thing. So I definitely say it is pretty comparable to the OHL, but in totally different manners.
So it's just maybe a rung or two below the SHL, for instance.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, man, thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you.